just seems to keep getting worse, bro. It seems like every single time she's seen on camera, she's doing something bizarre, or she's smiling, ignoring people, etc., guys, right? But apparently, this video here, based off the title, is stating that she was seen smiling and smirking through a recent update. Guys, this would not be the first time, right? This would now be the second time if that's the case, because the other time, she just seems to not be fully aware of the weight of what is going on in her city and surrounding her city. It's a little crazy, guys. In fact, but all right, guys, let's jump into it immediately. LA mayor blasted for smiling and smirking through update on devastating LA fire situation. This is a suggestion via a channel member. Let's go ahead and check this out. Let's go ahead and counter it together, guys.
Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass has been slammed after she released a video update on the devastating fire situation. But the mayor was promptly blasted across the country for appearing to smile, grin, and smirk her way through the speech.
Angelinos, we're still going through it, and to any of you and all of you that have experienced a loss, the grief, the anger, the just utter shock, I've seen the devastation. It is unbelievable the amount of loss that people have experienced. But we have to get through this crisis, and I know that we will. I was at the Sylmar command post today, and I saw the work of our first responders and how they've been able to defeat the fires in certain areas. We know we still have much more to go, and we know the winds are going to kick up again. But we got to stick together. We got to stand strong. And then we have to rebuild our city. We're the nation's second largest city, one of the greatest cities in the world. Okay. And we stay together and we will rebuild an amazing city. So thank you, Angelinos, and my thoughts and prayers are out to all of you that are going through unbelievable loss and pain today. We will get through this.
Thoughts and prayers, eh? All right, I guess that's that, right? I mean, obviously she's pointing out the fact that Los Angeles is the second biggest city. I'm not sure that these individuals in Los Angeles need to know that. They probably already know that, right? So it's not a big deal here. But yeah, she doesn't seem like she's taking this serious, guys. Based off purely the tone, I'm sure some body language, experts will probably come out and probably look at this and be like, yeah, I don't think she cares. I'm just looking, I'm giving you my opinion on what I'm seeing here, and she definitely seems to be smirking and smiling and completely speaking about something that is not affecting, multiple thousands of people. People's livelihoods have just been destroyed, right? Things that they have worked for their entire life have now been destroyed. We're now 24 people confirmed to have lost their lives in this scenario, and you're on camera smirking and smiling? That's your thing, right? Just reminding people, hey, still come to our city. We're going to rebuild it, and it's the second largest city. Bro, no one cares about that right now. What we care about is making sure that the remaining people are going to be able to get out of this thing safe and hopefully have something to come back to at some time. All right? But all right.
Thank you.
And this isn't the first time the mayor has inappropriately smiled during a briefing.
The way they are moving, the unpredictability of how they're moving, the swiftness with how they're moving, you are not going to outrun these fires. If you stay, you're going to die in them, and it's not worth it. So if you're told to evacuate, get the hell out. Save yourselves. You can rebuild, because we are going to rebuild.
The bizarre footage sent...
If that's the footage that you're referring to, I don't know about that. She's just standing there watching things. Now, the one that you showed before, that's the one that absolutely is terrifying, guys, in a sense. You could have some nervous laughter also.
Online commentators into a spin smile. With commentator Ollie London saying,
that does not make it better, though.
Bass smiles as she talks about the loss LA residents have suffered in the LA wildfires, which have destroyed 37,000 acres, 12,000 structures, and left at least 16 dead.
Yeah, guys, you're looking too deeply into that one there.
And this commentator doubled down, saying Karen Bass is loving the fact that Los Angeles is burning. Just look at her mischievous grin, the knowing smirk on her face, the duper's delight. But Karen Bass's grin isn't the only reason her state has turned against her. She was famously blasted for being in Africa at the start of the fires and then remaining mute when questioned about her absence by the media.
This was weird.
David Blevins from Sky News in the UK. fire chiefs say that they're really stretched to the limit and running out of water. What have you got to say to that?
Okay, guys, so when I saw this video at first, I wanted to make sure, I asked you guys if there was more to the video, okay? And apparently there is. There's much more to the video. She blatantly says she does not want to answer questions, which is absolutely her right to do so. I think she probably should, and along with the agency that is attempting to actually ask these questions are not even American agencies. They're foreign agencies, so I'm not sure that that's something that she should be forced to do. Again, guys, in this context at least. I was wondering, because the last video we saw, it completely negated that fact, and now I understand why they did that.
Stretched to the limit and running out of water. What have you got to say to that? Have you no response to that?
Paparazzi, guys.
Do you owe citizens an apology for being absent while their homes were burning? Do you regret cutting the fire department budget by millions of dollars, Madam Mayor? Have you nothing to say today?
Can you back up? Appreciate it.
Have you absolutely nothing to say to the citizens today? Elon Musk says that you're utterly incompetent. Are you considering your position? Madam Mayor, have you absolutely nothing to say to the citizens today who are dealing with this disaster?
Like, this is not a good look at all. Like at all. Like, you should want to, but obviously at the same time, your PR person looks to be right there and saying don't say anything, because obviously there's a gigantic push for her resignation. Now, from a business standpoint, from her mayoralship, obviously she's tiptoeing around things right now. So the last thing that needs to happen is for this guy to basically be asking these questions. Would I have loved to have her answer these questions? Oh, yeah, absolutely. But generally, people are not going to work against their own interests. And she definitely knows, without a doubt, guys, if she would have answered any of these things, she'd be cooked, guys. Like, just how her silence is all over the internet now, imagine if she would have said something. I think her PR person spotted that quickly.
Do you think you should have been visiting Ghana while this was unfolding back home?
And it seems
like, guys, I would have felt massively different if this was American media asking questions. I'm going to be completely honest here. But this is foreign media.
like the entire city is turning against the mayor, with this radio station blasting her incompetence and calling for her resignation.
Urgently call for the immediate recall of Mayor Karen Bass due to her gross mismanagement and failure to effectively respond to the devastating 2020 fires. In the wake of these catastrophic fires, our city has been left in crisis. Water supplies have been severely strained. Billions of taxpayer dollars have been misallocated or left unaccounted for, and countless lives have been lost. Families have been displaced, homes destroyed, livelihoods shattered, yet Mayor Bass has been absent from the front lines, choosing to travel abroad while her constituents suffer. Despite the tireless efforts of our first responders, the city has been woefully unprepared to ensure the safety and well-being of its residents. Basic resources such as water and emergency services have been inadequate, and leadership has been nowhere to be found when it was needed most. We demand the immediate resignation of Mayor Karen Bass due to her failure to lead during this unprecedented crisis. It goes on. I'm signing the petition right now during the commercial break. And let's put a link on our website for it, because I think everybody, it's not only for residents of LA.
Fire victims also unleashed on the mayor for cutting budgets.
The lady that cut the funding from fire hydrants.
Karen Bass.
Yeah. Fire her.
They have no water.
They actually have no water?
No, I actually asked him, this guy right here. I
Yeah.
said, how do you have no water? He said, we have no water.
Oh my God.
We have nothing.
But not everyone is against Karen Bass. The woke
Obviously.
left are blaming racism for the criticism against the mayor.
Bro, if you specifically cut, listen, if you cut the fire department's budget because you're basically gonna say, oh, you know what, I'm going to gamble with the citizens of Los Angeles, right? By saying that, what does that tell me? It tells me that you're willing to gamble the life of the people that basically voted you in, right? I mean, you're at fault here. The buck stops right here. People are trying to blame Newsom, guys. I'm not a fan of Newsom, guys, but I blame the person that was in charge of that specific thing, and she definitely was that, guys.
The woke left are blaming racism for the criticism against the mayor.
Let me tell you something. She's got a spine of steel. Yes. And she's also been a black woman in America a very long time. So none of this is new to her. We're mad because we're tired of it. We're tired for her. We're mad for her. And we're going to stand. Listen, I don't know how you here, but I'm happy you're here. Because somebody needs to
stand, behind her and support her. Because how she handling it, you can see it in her face. She stays calm. But think about this. She has the city to take care of. She does not have time to hear from these reporters.
She is also not mayor of every municipality in California. Yes. There are people that are mad that she didn't fix the fires in Malibu. She's not the mayor of Malibu.
You're right.
What is she supposed to do in a city she's not the mayor of?
Okay, and at 0 times have I said that there are. Now, don't get me wrong here, guys. I mean, when people speak, you have to be aware that even though you're saying something clearly, there are some individuals who move around this planet saying things they don't actually mean. Then you run into people like me. I say exactly what I mean the first time, and there's no other there's no other perception, let's say, of what I could be meaning. What is it that you mean by that? I said it exactly. Exactly what I said, right? But even by me saying this right now, people are going to misunderstand it. I know it. I can see the comments coming. But the point here is there are people that just don't know or don't care, okay? Because some random news station or some radio show basically said that, yeah, she's the mayor of everything. No, she's not, bro. This is why every single time we talk about it, I basically specifically only point out Los Angeles. Why? Because that's where she runs, guys, right? Now, I do think that she should have definitely answered the questions, but I also understand why she didn't, right? There's a double-edged sword here, guys. There are 2 reasons here. If she would have, she knows that the PR person right next to her definitely knows. You say anything right now, it'll be everywhere. And you know how we know, how we can guarantee that? Look at her saying nothing. Look at where it is. It's everywhere, right? This is not the first time I've seen that video. It's a crazy video, guys. In fact, now the smirking and smiling thing, that is just weird. I don't make excuses for people interactions because I'm not that person, right? But all I can see is that it could be some nervous laughter type of thing or nervous smiling type of thing. It could be something that her media trainer said to revert back to, which is pretty common in the industry, right? Like come up with a stance and how you're going to maintain your face because you're always going to be photographed, that type of thing. And that could be a thing also. Who knows, right? But I do not like the jovial nature of how it sounds, like the tone. She could have kind of toned it down a little bit, like acted like you cared a little bit, right? But the fact is that the buck stops kind of right there. Who's at fault for this? Her. You did this, right? You trying to most likely put the budget of the fire department, their money into somewhere else for that year because you were like, you know what, nothing's going to happen. Nothing has happened, and then this gigantic thing happens. Yeah, that sucks. But now you have to be blamed for it, and she should be fine with it, to be honest. So the concept of a recall, go for it. Go for it, guys. But all right, guys, let me know in the comments what you guys think. You guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Enjoy your day thoroughly. The fact that you just made it to the end of the video says a whole lot, actually. We have a couple other channels. MrLboyd Music, MrLboyd Movie Reacts, along with MrLboyd Discusses, where I just generally speak about the things that specifically matter to me. But in the meantime, I'll catch you guys later.